First, another disturbing attack on ICE officers. A mob assaulting 4 agents in San Francisco, even threatening their families. Christina Coleman is live in Los Angeles with more on this. Christina.
John, dozens of protesters rallied outside of San Francisco's federal court building waiting for the release of a person who DHS identified as Adrian Guerrero, a U.S. citizen who federal officials say assaulted ICE officers and threatened law enforcement by saying, quote, "I'm going to go after your family and I'm going to stab you." Guerrero, who identifies as a woman and goes by the name Angie, was charged with assault and destruction of federal property after allegedly slashing the tire of a government vehicle. DHS says it happened on Wednesday when a group of about 15 to 20 violent anti-ICE rioters in San Francisco assaulted, grabbed, punched, and pepper sprayed ICE agents who were conducting targeted immigration enforcement in San Francisco, in that city. DHS says they surrounded and assaulted 4 federal agents. DHS says, quote, "While standing at arm's length from an officer, Guerrero made repeated threats stating, quote, 'I'm going to F you up. I'm going to go after your family and I'm going to stab you.'" DHS says Guerrero was also in possession of a black knife and patterned headscarf during this incident. Guerrero was later granted bail and surrounded by supporters after being released and had this to say about the situation.
"I'm good, despite the brutality and repression that the federal government is placing on this city, my city, the city I was born in."
The attack on law enforcement in San Francisco was yet another example of violence against immigration agents. DHS says ICE law enforcement are now facing a 1,000% increase in assaults against them as they risk their lives to arrest the worst of the worst criminal illegal aliens. Despite all the violence, immigration officials continue to carry out their operations in various cities nationwide.
Boy, 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 boy. So we got to talk about yet again another all-American classic story of F around and find out, featuring Trump deranged liberals, lunatics who are pissed off and mad at Border Patrol / ICE coming to a liberal city near them and enforcing federal law, which is not something that happens often in these liberal cities. In this story, we have to go out to Playa Vista, Los Angeles, okay, a neighborhood in Los Angeles, in which you have this mother who is currently raging over her son finding out after he decided it would be a good idea to throw a water bottle at Border Patrol / ICE agents that were just doing their job in the neighborhood. And instead of her son minding his own damn business, right, going about his day, he decided to play a stupid game and he won a stupid prize. And now the mother is on television, boohoo, whining, crying victim. So without further ado, let's get into it.
It was quite a scene. There were about a dozen Border Patrol agents who took down one man. They took him into custody. And as that was happening, there was a crowd. There were witnesses. They were furious. They were shouting at the agents. And then things just escalated quickly.
That's my baby. Well, relax. Touch me again.
When Border Patrol agents arrested a man outside a Home Depot in Playa Vista Monday morning, it sparked a heated confrontation with bystanders.
They think they're all Rambo with their paintball guns. They're such losers.
Angelique Ryder-Mitchell rushed outside when she heard the commotion and saw agents arresting a man on the ground.
I'm so disgusted with how these federal officers are coming into our city to tear everything up, our relationships, our neighbors, the families in our communities, just to satisfy a political agenda of a criminal in the White House. But that's my personal take on it.
Witnesses shouted at the agents as they led the man away. As they were leaving in a white van, Angelique's 27-year-old son, Cosmos Mitchell, hurled what appears to be a glass bottle toward the vehicle. Agents jumped out, tackled him, and took him into custody.
What did he do?
Angelique says she's been told her son will face federal charges for assaulting an officer. She also tells us Cosmos has never been in trouble with the law before.
He's been working at FedEx for years. He's a great kid. He's starting college in September. He's a nice guy, and now they're threatening his whole future with this.
Yeah, I mean, justifiably so. Now, again, this right here is the problem with parenting in this country. This is everything wrong with parenting in this country. her son got caught on video, right? On video, it's all on video, okay? Throwing a water bottle at ICE agents, okay? Throwing a water bottle. Now, again, to me, it sounded like it was a jar or something, right? Some glass, okay? But regardless, her son tried to attack ICE, right? They tried to attack federal agents, and you can't just get away with that, right? You have to be held accountable. Now, instead of holding her son accountable and saying, hey, this was a bad decision, he should not have made this decision, okay? No, she's trying to make excuses. Well, he's a good kid. He worked at FedEx. He's going to college. Well, he should have thought about all that before he decided to make that decision, right? Happens all the time. All of these young scholars have bright futures, right? Bright futures until they end up committing these crimes, right? Now, again, when you're being raised by a woman like this, a Trump deranged woman like this, who probably is a part of the reason why her son was so radicalized enough to attack federal officers, yeah, I mean, stuff like this happens because, again, bad parenting. So, again, over-radicalization, Trump derangement. Also, on top of that, again, she apparently doesn't think that her son should be held accountable when he commits crimes, right? When he does not follow the law, right? Yeah, I mean, you can kind of see why this happened. You can see exactly why this happened. So he can start off his college in prison, right? With real criminals, right? That's what he can do. And his job at FedEx, hey, I guess that somebody else is going to have to do that job, right? Sound to me like he may have had a bright future, but he threw it all away over what? Over what? Trump derangement? Threw it all away over Trump derangement. I hope it was worth it, right? I hope it was worth it because I don't think it was.
He did throw a water bottle.
Is that what it was? He probably had it on him and he was upset. Water bottle, that's plastic. They were like 50, 60 feet away, driving away. So that's such a threat.
Crossing the line.
Yeah, now, again, see, here's the problem with this stupid argument from these liberals, right? If you let this type of stuff slide, it was just a water bottle, which, by the way, I don't know, man. It sounded like glass to me, right? It didn't sound like a water bottle, but regardless of what it was, whether it was a water bottle or not, it doesn't matter. You cannot set the precedent that it's okay to attack federal agents and that there's not going to be any consequences. Because at some point, it's going to escalate and it's going to get deadly. In fact, it already has, right? We've already seen stories of ICE agents being shot at. So if you're letting these people get away with this stuff, even if it's something quote unquote small, which is not a small thing, don't let anybody fool you, gaslight you into believing that, this is just ticky-tack. It's just a water bottle. Who cares? No, I care. You should care because we can't allow these people to be attacking federal agents for doing their jobs, right? When you attack a federal agent, the same way if you just randomly attack some individual on the street, yeah, that's a problem, right? That's an issue. You can't do that, right? Just like, again, you can't randomly attack somebody on the street. You can't randomly attack a federal agent. Just because they're a federal agent, that doesn't mean they should be your punching bag. It doesn't mean that they should be your stress reliever, right? Because you're mad. Oh, let me just attack a federal officer and I can just get away with it, right? No. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Nobody is above the law. Remember, right? Even these liberals, these lunatics, these protesters, they're not above the law. You cannot attack a federal agent like this and think that you can get away with it.
Would be using physical force against a law enforcement officer.
Criminal defense attorney Dimitri Gorin says people need to be extremely cautious about interfering with federal agents.
Federal charges are very serious. They do carry stiff sentences, and we just all need to stay safe. It is very disconcerting to see arrests happening in broad daylight of people that are not committing crimes. And we do want to help.
Yeah, well, they're in the country illegally, so they are committing a crime, right? The crime is being in the country illegally. These people keep trying to pretend as if every illegal in the country who's not committing violent crimes, who's not murdering, robbing, raping, stealing, they're just here working, right? And it's like, well, they're here legally, right? They're here legally, okay? And that in and of itself is a crime, right? And because it's a crime, the arrest is warranted. And it is what it is. At some point, again, liberals are going to have to accept that we have these laws on the book for a reason. Okay, we have borders for a reason, and we have to enforce these laws, or else they don't mean a damn thing, right? That's the point.
And that's the first instinct for a lot of people. But do that, you can help people using good judgment, which is to not physically resist, physically interfere, and get close to law enforcement.
If convicted, Mitchell could face anywhere from a year for a simple assault up to 8 years for a felony. So it really depends on the prosecutors.
Yeah. Hey, I say send him away for 8 years. I say send him away for 8 years. Right? For what he did, for what he tried to do, that stupid stuff, right? You play a stupid game, you're going to win a stupid prize. And he should probably win the stupidest prize. He should know better, right? But then again, right, look who he's being raised by. Look at the parent, right? Where's the father, right? Where is the father at, right? Because, again, this mother clearly is irresponsible. She's overly emotional, and she's probably raised her son to be that way, which is why he acted out, right? He acted out of emotion because that's what he sees in the home. Right. And that typically is how this goes. Right. When you have these criminals, right, these people that commit these violent acts like this, again, they learn it in the home. Right. Because they're being raised by these emotional women that can't control themselves. Right. So if you're a man and you acting like that, you're a teenager or a young man or whatever. And that is the type of influence that you have in the house. Then, yeah, it leads to stuff like this. And I think that's exactly what we're saying. So, hey, at the end of the day, this young man, he played a stupid game. Now he's winning a stupid prize, and it is what it is. You shouldn't let your trunk derangement lead you to making these types of bad decisions. He should have kept moving. He should have minded his own damn business. So, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.